In today's video, we're going to be turning slab wood into firewood. Let's go. So this is my 3-point sawbuck. I made this actually in another video quite a while back last year, and there's videos of me making it, testing it out. So if you want to see more detail on this 3-point sawbuck, which is a custom tractor attachment I made, check out those videos. But for today's video, the plan is to take all these slabs, stack them up, saw them into firewood lengths, put them in the IBC cage, and put them somewhere so they're out of the way and they're ready to burn. So a lot of the wood I'm burning is poplar, which admittingly isn't good firewood really, but it still burns. It's going to provide heat. I don't see a sense of wasting it. There is some red oak in here, but it's mostly poplar at this point. So let's get going. right, so that's actually only one sawbuck full of wood. For anyone curious, this IBC tote is one of the 330-gallon totes, so it's 6 inches higher than the 275s. And as you can see, it's just about almost exactly half full from that one sawbuck worth of wood, so about a sixth of a cord. By the way, I never understood why they say face cord. I know that's a common term, which is, you know, one row of wood, but it can be different lengths. Traditionally, it's a 16-inch row of wood, 8x4, which is a third of a cord, but it could be 18 inches, 20 inches, 14 inches. So face cord is only what you see, the face of the cord, which I always thought was kind of a silly term. Why not just say a third of a cord? Why confuse people and have different lengths and different amounts of wood? But anyways, I know some people might be thinking this wood's too big, you gotta re-split it to go in a wood stove. Keep in mind, my wood stove is huge. You could drive a Cadillac in that thing. It's a thermo control, it's the biggest model. I forgot the cubic foot capacity of the firebox, but it's somewhere around 6 or 8 cubic feet. So it's, you know, a double wheelbarrow worth of wood will fit in it at one time. I could fit 4 rounds of firewood without splitting them in there, but they don't burn as good. These are already split. I know they're wider, but they're good sized pieces, and like I said, a lot of them are poplar, which isn't great firewood. It burns quick. So that being a little bigger will give me a little extra burn time over splitting them smaller like you might normal firewood. But not to bore you too much with talking, let's get to work. Well, it didn't take long to fill up. I'm gonna say probably took me, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, maybe 30 minutes. But that's with moving the camera around, trying to get different angles, explaining things. If I was just working without taping or videoing, I should say, I'd probably fill this up in about 15 to 20 minutes tops, which is pretty good considering this IBC cage is a third of a cord, which is you know, about 42, 43 cubic feet. This is a 330-gallon container, not the 275s, which are smaller, as I said earlier. So there is one issue that I've discovered. I shouldn't say discovered, I already knew about the issue because I've used this sawbuck before. But that issue is when you stack your pieces in there, whether they be small logs or slabs or whatever, once you cut the middle and there's nothing supporting end to end, it just falls out the front. You get the pipe supports on the end and the middle's open. So I really need to come up with a way to keep the wood inside the sawbuck so I can finish cutting it and bucking it and getting it loaded. So let's see what we can come up with. 5 by 5 by 100. Or am I going to buy a 5 by 5 by 100? You can't just go buy that. Let's see if that works better. I gotta tell you, I'm really impressed so far with these Bauer tools. This is from Harbor Freight. Granted, pine's not that high, but I drilled 5 2-inch diameter holes with this Forstner bit, 4 inches deep through this. So, I mean, for the price they get for these, I think it's hard to beat them. I've had DeWalt, Makita, Bosch, Porter Cable. I've used a lot of different brands over the years, and so far, I'm pretty impressed with the Bauer line. What do you guys think of that? That worked a lot better. Just adding those 3 pipes kept everything in there nice, nothing slid out or cockeyed. For anyone that hasn't used a sawbuck like this before, you might notice I gotta kind of change the way I'm cutting once in a while. You can't just go straight through. It doesn't work that way. The logs fall in on themselves. You end up getting your bar pinched, and you have to kind of read the wood and figure out which way you gotta cut it. But that worked really well. I'm really happy with that. These are just plastic pipe. This is actually ABS plumbing pipe for like drains and vents for plumbing. So I'm gonna end up changing these out to metal like the N2. I just don't have any pipe the right diameter, but eventually I'll end up changing these 3 to metal. So they're all metal, but they are the same diameter, so it should be easy swap out. Well, there we have it, cage number 2. And you guys can see there's really hardly any slab wood left. I don't know if I even have enough to fill up one more cage. I don't think I do, but tell you what, that 3-point sawbuck really chewed through that slab wood in a hurry. But yeah, this worked really well. I almost chewed through that whole pile of slab wood in really not much time at all. I think this is going to make some great firewood, and I was excited to try out the 3-point sawbuck again. I haven't used this in probably at least a year, and it felt good to use it again. For anyone curious about the sawbuck, like I said in the beginning of the video, I do have at least, I think, 2 or 3 videos of me making this sawbuck and testing it out originally. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video of what you can do with your slab wood from your mill. I think firewood is a great use to make the slab wood into. What else are you really going to do with it? I suppose you could use it for like cladding or siding for an outbuilding or a camp or something like that, but I'm probably not going to do that. I mean, maybe in the future I will. I actually have a couple ideas of things I could do similar to that. I don't want to get into them in the video because they could be, you know, future videos, and I don't want to ruin the surprise. But I'll see you guys next time.